everyone, Coach K here. We're going to do a quick video breakdown of what's going on with BTC. A lot of people are saying that they're getting bullish indicators popping off, including my own. So we're going to look at the actual market and see what has actually been going on and what's happening right now to get a better understanding of what really is going on in the market. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Let me just pull this out nicely so you guys can all see it really well. And let's get started. So what I see with Bitcoin on the daily right now is we've had a bullish TK cross way back here. That was in June. And we've kind of just been like floating around. Now this weaker one right here is our daily Kijun. We're now on the weekly right there, as you can see. And our weekly Kijun's still sticking around this 8,500 level. It's kind of been stuck there for quite some time. And generally, the Kijun acts as a magnet to price. So when it flattens out, it pulls it either up or pulls it back down. Okay, doesn't always tell all the way to the bottom, but it will pull it up and pull it down. So the other Kijun you see is the daily right here. Okay, so we just use both. Now what we can see is there's the cloud was really bearish, and now it's kind of tightening up and becoming not as bearish. So usually when there's a big zone, there's a lot of volatility. Right now we're kind of sideways a little bit, as we've noticed. Now if we go down to the daily, what we can see is exactly what I just said. We're kind of sideways. So if we look at this, we look like we're in a box here. You know, just a giant box for quite some time, trading in this range. Okay, so we're ranging up and then down, and then up and then down. We're kind of getting squeezed a bit, right? You can see that the market's kind of squeezing. Obviously that's not perfect, but the market's kind of squeezing down like this way, and we see that we're also squeezing like this too. Let me just get this on right here. So kind of like squeezing like that. So usually when this happens, we either break up or break down, obviously, and it's kind of hard. We could definitely still continue ranging until we have the backed idea of what's going to happen. So it's really hard to say in this time frame where we're going. Now we do have a bearish TK cross right here. As we can see, we had a bullish and a bearish. It kind of doesn't know really where it wants to go. They're kind of sitting really close together, and we have no real clear direction. So Bitcoin is like kind of doesn't know where it wants to go. Even the Chiku span is in the candlesticks, right? So as we know, the Chiku span is in the candlesticks. We have a bullish outlook, but not a very bullish one. The cloud's quite thin. We have support around this $9,100, $9,082 range, and we have a lot of resistance around this 12,350, or we can even drop it down all the way down to here at the top of these candlesticks where this tweezer top was, or not really a tweezer top, but what looked like a tweezer top there. And we can see that, there has been some resistance in that area, but it's hard to break that 12K zone, and now we're trading sideways. So what people might see as accumulation, bears keep trying to push it, bulls keep trying to keep and maintain this level right here, and we have bears push it down, they pull it back up, they push it down, they pull it back up, they push it down, they push it down, they push it down, but they can't keep it down, right? So we had this little hammer candle here, and then usually it rallied a little bit up, and then it's kind of falling down, and then we go to the 4-hour. We just keep doing multi-time frame analysis, and you see even more how sideways the market has been, right? Especially recently. So we barred it up, then we barred it down after the weekend, right? So sorry, this is not even the weekend. We had a BART on the weekend, which is on a smaller time frame. We see a nice Bart Simpson right here up, and then Kawabunga down. And we haven't really seen very much here, right? The market's kind of thin. The volume even in the market's quite thin, as we can see here. And we had this one nice candle. We'll try to push it up into the cloud. We got to that $10,700 range, and then it pushed right back down. Now, if we go to look at my chart on XBT, as you guys know, we go, and this has not been touched, right? I haven't touched this chart for like the whole weekend. Left everything the way it was, but what we can see here is that we were holding this the 236 line right here. It's bouncing and bouncing and bouncing off of it. Got below it a couple times, but it's been really a strong area to hold on to so far in this ranging market. And we also see that we touched the top of the Kijun on that 4-hour and pushed back down. So it's kind of trying to break through and hasn't done it yet. And we got over it here, and then we dropped right back down with a bearish TK cross. And now we're just ranging and ranging for hours and hours, and the market volume is quite low compared, if we go all the way back here to when we're really bullish, we're probably at not even half of that volume. Like, look at this. When we were really bullish, in July, we are at less than half of the volume today as we were then. So the market's been really slow, and there's many reasons why that happens. Probably one of them is that it's near the end of the summer. A lot of people are spending time with family before their kids go back to school. This is really normal type of behavior in a market, okay? Now we look at this and we see that over the weekend, I don't know where that came from. Over the weekend, we had a push, and the push went all the way to the 618, and then it pushed it all the way back down and held just for a very short time at the 382. Now we take away this, we can just look at the Kijun. It's really flat, and they're kind of right on top of each other. So I would assume that people are getting bull signs not just because of their algos, but it wants to pull back to that level because it's really flat. And we see that even the top of the Kumo is flat. So we have lots of flat edges here. Flat, even here it's flat. So we do see that there's multiple areas that it needs to break through, but I could see that if we break through here into the cloud and this turns into a bullish TK cross, we could pull an edge to edge trade and get towards maybe this $10,800 to $10,900 zone. That's what I'm looking for right now on the higher time frames. If we go down to shorter time frames, we see that we had a bearish Kumo twist after a little bit movement on the weekend, and we're kind of whipsawing up and down all around the place. There's some buy signals from the algos, and we're really thin in the cloud. So there's nothing really exciting here. We're thin on the volume, we're thin in the cloud. So it's really hard to say where Bitcoin's gonna go. That's why people aren't really sure, and I don't blame them. But we do have flat Kumo bottom and a flat Kumo top here. And right here, it's flat on both sides. So I'm really curious to see where we're going to end up, obviously. And we see that the span is right where the Kijun is. So let's just wait out and see where we're going to go with that. Now, if we want to look at what's really going on in the world, we got to see where Bitcoin's dominance is. And it would surprise you probably that Bitcoin's dominance, look how crazy that is, jumped up. It got flat. This was in March, right before I called the April bull run, and we've been bullish ever since. Even though Bitcoin's on a, it's going down a little bit. We saw that we hit basically the highest we've ever been on Bitcoin since we've had ICOs. Let's just show you what I mean by that. This was the last time we were this high was July 18th, 2017. July 18th, 2017 was before real ICOs were really starting. The craze wasn't here yet. I remember that it was like October, October that people started even talking about them, and then ICOs boomed into the start of 2018, and that's why we saw Bitcoin kind of drop down all the way down to here and slowly work its way back all the way to 70%, 71, 72%. So it's really, really high. Bitcoin is really mostly all of the market. We still have the gap. We have a gap on the bottom down here, and we have a gap up top here. So we're going to eventually either fill one or the other, or fill both. So keep your eyes out for that. That we very well could fill the gappy kiss right here, drop down to this level. We got really close, but we didn't fill anywhere close to that. So, and remember that weekly Kijun sitting right in this gappy kiss area. So it wants to get back there eventually. But right now we have this pulling to magnet top. It's trying to pull it back up there. So let's wait and see where that goes. Now we look at the other markets right now in the world. We see that the DJI, I drew this last week, that we were going to see it start to fall. It's been trying to maintain and trying to maintain. I don't think it's going to fall over a week or a month. This is going to be over several months. As you can see, it's a daily time frame. But I do believe we'll get back down to this low down here at some point in the next, 6 months, maybe even sooner. And the SPX we see also is dropping slowly. We hit these all-time highs and we drop down, and it's trying to figure its way out. But, as we look at what's going on, it dropped from this day right here to that. On July 31st, it dropped 7%. It kind of came back up. And what happened? It's been dropping again another 3%. So the markets in the world are very unsteady. VIX is going up because of volatility. And, we're going to see gold and many other markets start to push. This is something you have to keep your eyes on, especially one other thing I want to talk about for one real quick minute here before I go, is that when we look at total market cap, we have to see this go up for alt season to be here. So stop saying that alt season is here. If we go on to Binance, we can see that some coins have been pumping a little bit, sure, you know, but on the average, you know, if you look at a whole entire exchange and there's only like 4 or 5 coins that have pumped, that should tell you a lot about what's actually happening in that market, especially when their total market cap of all the market is going down. And when you compare it to something like Bitcoin, you don't really see it any different. And what I mean by that is this. There's Bitcoin right here, and there is the total market cap right here. They look almost identical. So is the market cap Bitcoin? We'll have to just wait and see. So that's it for today. Just looking at world markets, seeing what's going on. If we're going to just do one really quickly, well, let's look at the gold. Gold has been shooting up, especially with market uncertainty in the world. We see silver also has been shooting up because of uncertainty in the world. And, you know, oil, I would assume, might be going up as well, just because when everything is uncertain, people don't know. So oil hasn't really done very much. I don't know if that was the right petroleum. Let's see, petroleum's going down. So that's interesting. But then we could look at palladium, platinum, palladium. Lots of these will start to go up. People go into these different types of assets when the market is uncertain. So keep your eyes on those. People will go into hedge. They'll start looking at world markets and even Bitcoin and stuff and go, I need to put my stuff or my cash flow or my resources into multiple areas. Bitcoin will probably benefit from this, as well as gold and silver, platinum, palladium, radium, barium, etc. There's going to be many of those metals that are going to do very well. Okay, so that's basically it for today. I'll see you guys on the next video on Friday. Sorry about not being on Monday this week. I just was not available, and that can happen every now and then. I'll see you guys soon. Coach K signing out.